What if you were told that having more sex doesn't necessarily make you happier? A surprising statement, isn't it? But that's precisely what research suggests. It's a common assumption that more sex equals more happiness. But, as with many things in life, the reality is a bit more complicated. Researchers have noted that the optimum amount for maximizing happiness is sex once a week. Just once a week. Not twice, not every day, but once. It's an interesting paradox, isn't it? One might assume that the more of a good thing we have, the happier we would be. But that's not necessarily the case here. Now let's delve a bit deeper. If once a week is the sweet spot, what happens if couples have sex less than once a week? The research indicates that these couples report being less happy. This suggests that while sex is not a direct correlation to happiness, it does play a significant role in our overall sense of well-being. But what about couples who have sex more than once a week? Interestingly, they are not any happier than those who get busy just once a week. This finding challenges the common belief that more is always better. In this case, there's a tipping point where the benefits no longer increase. So, what does this all mean? It seems that when it comes to sex and happiness, the key is finding the right balance. It's not about chasing more and more, but about finding a rhythm that works for you and your partner. And remember, it's not just about frequency. It's about connection, intimacy, and shared pleasure. It's a powerful reminder that in the pursuit of happiness, we must be mindful of our assumptions and expectations. More isn't always better. Sometimes it's about finding the right amount that maximizes our joy and contentment. So it seems that when it comes to happiness and sex, it's about quality, not quantity. Did you know that where you live could impact your happiness? It's a fascinating revelation, isn't it? Let's explore that a bit. In the United States, for example, the happiest state is Alaska, with its stunning landscapes and untouched wilderness. This is closely followed by Hawaii, South Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana. On the other hand, the states reporting the lowest happiness levels include West Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and Mississippi. Now, let's cross the ocean to Europe. It's interesting to note that different cultures value different types of happiness. While Americans often seek high-intensity happiness like joy and excitement, Danes and Swedes have a slightly different take. They value lower-intensity happiness, such as contentment and relaxation. For them, happiness is seen as a byproduct of life, not the goal. So, if you're in the pursuit of happiness, you might want to consider your geographical coordinates. The pursuit of happiness might just mean packing your bags. Could acceptance be the key to happiness? A profound question, isn't it? A study conducted by the University of Michigan suggests that it just might be. This fascinating research focused on individuals suffering from chronic illnesses. Now, it's only natural to hope for a cure when you're unwell, right? But here's the twist. The study found that individuals who accepted their condition, who came to terms with their reality, reported feeling happier. On the flip side, those who were constantly fixated on finding a cure, on eliminating their ailiness, they were less content, less happy. It's almost paradoxical, isn't it? But it makes sense in a way. Acceptance can bring about a certain peace, a tranquility that allows for happiness to blossom, even amidst adversity. This isn't to say we shouldn't strive for better health, but perhaps we should also strive for acceptance. It seems that sometimes acceptance is the first step to happiness. What if happiness had a scientific formula? If that piques your curiosity, you're in the right place. Let's journey into the fascinating world of the science of happiness. First off, let's discuss the incredible power of social relationships. It turns out that the strength of our social bonds is a greater predictor of happiness than any other factor. Yes, you heard it right. Having a strong support network isn't just about having someone to share a cup of coffee with or someone to vent to after a hard day. These connections, these relationships, they're a lifeline, a source of joy, and according to science, a key ingredient in the recipe for happiness. Another surprising piece of the happiness puzzle: temperature. Scientists have discovered that our happiness peaks at a very specific temperature, and that magic number is 57.02 degrees Fahrenheit. It seems there's a sweet spot where the weather is just right and our happiness soars. Now let's talk about money. A Princeton study found that happiness does indeed rise with income, but there's a catch. That increase in happiness doesn't continue indefinitely. It plateaus at around $75,000 a year. Beyond that point, happiness isn't about how much is in your bank account. It becomes about other factors, like those strong social relationships we talked about earlier. Finally, let's not forget about yoga. Long-term yoga practice can give your happiness levels a significant boost. It's not just about the physical benefits, like increased flexibility or improved strength. Yoga helps reduce fear, anger, and fatigue, all while promoting a sense of inner peace and contentment. That's a win-win if you ask me. So happiness might be as simple as strong relationships, the right temperature, and a bit of yoga. It's not quite as catchy as love, peace, and happiness, but it's backed by science, and that makes it worth exploring. After all, who doesn't want to unlock the secret to a happier life? What if the key to happiness was found in surprising places? It turns out it might be. Researchers at the University of Florida have uncovered a delightful fact. The scent of a flower can positively influence a person's emotions. A sweet whiff of a blooming rose or a delicate lily could be all it takes to lift your spirits and bring a smile to your face. But that's not all. Studies have shown that bronze medalists, contrary to what we might think, are often happier than their silver counterparts. The reason? They are simply overjoyed to have won a medal at all. It seems that happiness lies not in being the best, but in the joy of achievement itself. And let's not forget the United States Constitution, which boldly declares that all men have a right to the pursuit of happiness. It's a powerful reminder that happiness is not just a fleeting emotion, but a fundamental human right. So, happiness might just be a flower sent away, or in the joy of a bronze medal.